Number 315, that's for the amount of CCs. 315 two-stroke and a Cowie frame. And I'm gonna get the chance to bark this thing. Thanks to these guys, gonna let me try it. About to rip a 315 cc monster in a Cowie frame. This is gonna be sick. Thank you guys, for real. This is officially the largest CC two-stroke I've ever rode, baby. Let's go. YouTube, it's Matty B. Welcome back to the channel, and thank you all very much for tuning in. Today, we've got a test ride national from out west at Glen, Helen on a 315cc Kawasaki KX two-stroke with a Tom Morgan big bore kit installed inside a 2018 KX 450 frame. And man, this was such a rad project bike built by Robert Reed. This thing started as a 1996 KX 250 motor and was basically a bike in a box whenever he got it. A bunch of parts have been sourced from Facebook Marketplace and eBay, so it was a really impressive build. Ryan Surratt was actually supposed to race this bike in the open class at the two-stroke world championship, but he was out with a shoulder injury. And yeah, I was just thankful to get the opportunity to take a few laps on it. If you guys want a little bit more of an in-depth video motocross action, did a killer edit on this bike a couple months ago. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy the sweet sounds of this thing ripping up the hills of Glen Helen. Cowie 315 big bore test shred done and dusted. Like I said at the beginning, that's the highest amount of cc's two-stroke I've ever ridden. I've never ridden a 500 or even a 300 or anything like that, so it was really fun to ride that 315. The Tom Morgan spec engine absolutely barked up the hills of Glen Helen. You kind of had to ride it in a bit of a higher gear, kind of lug it, as I'm sure you guys can hear in the video, but you kept clicking up gears. It kept on pulling. Even if it didn't sound like it was pulling that great, it would pull really good. So I was very impressed with the power. It definitely got up the hills in a hurry. Like I said, I've never ridden a 500, but the power and how you had to ride it felt exactly like I would imagine it would be in between a 250 and a 500. It was definitely notably faster than the 250, and you had to ride it quite a bit different, but it wasn't quite bogging and lugging around and had the speed of a 500. As far as the handling, the cornering was actually really good. I felt like it really tracked well. I almost felt like it was kind of glued to the ground a little bit, so that was good for some of the smoother areas. I'm not sure if this is just because they put a two-stroke motor in the 450 four-stroke frame or something like that, but the one thing I really didn't like is the frame. It was super incredibly rigid, and that combined with the hard-packed track of Glen Helen, even though it was a little on the softer side compared to normal Glen Helen, but just those two things combined, it was pretty harsh. The feedback in my hands and stuff, it just was really stiff, so it was a little bit of an uncomfortable feel going down some of those hills and through some of the more high-speed sections. I just didn't quite feel comfortable letting her eat. I really think on a softer East Coast track like what we have back here where I'm at now, I think it would honestly handle much, much better, and the bike was actually built in Oklahoma City, so I'm sure the bike actually handles perfectly in that red Oklahoma fluff where they're from. They've definitely got the spec down to where they're riding it, but California is a whole different story, even for me. Another thing that apparently some other people didn't like, but it didn't bother me at all, they had some Fastco foot pegs on it, which they're not quite as sharp, and they've got something, I'm not sure exactly what, but they got something to where it reduces vibration a little bit. And for me, my two-strokes always vibrate, so I feel like I'm almost immune to that, but they didn't bother me at all. But I think some of the other test riders weren't the biggest fans of them, but you guys know me. If it's got two wheels and a throttle, ain't really much of a problem as long as it runs. But yeah, all in all, it was a really fun bike to try. I got to give a massive thank you to Robert Reed and his crew for letting me give this thing a test ride. Thanks to my boy Josh Moseman from Motocross Action for hooking me up with Mr. Reed. If you guys want a more in-depth, more high-quality video on this bike, Josh and the guys at MXA did an awesome test video on this bike as well. And yeah, I haven't ridden many exotic bikes in my time. You guys know I'm just a core YZ250 guy, and they still make those, so it was definitely a really cool experience riding an epic custom bike on an iconic track. So yeah, thanks again to everybody involved for helping me spin a few laps on this thing. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.